Hey team, I often get asked why am I not getting faster at running, and a lot of times it can be a lot of different reasons why you're not getting faster at running. One of the biggest reasons, a lot of athletes are just training for too long and they're not taking breaks. Okay, you cannot train for several months without taking some form of break, and if you're continually training hard and going out and racing, doing track races or road races, it does come to a point where you can start to become stale. And there are other reasons why runners don't get faster. And a lot of times it's also because we're spending too much of our time focusing on an event that we may potentially not really be the best at. Okay, so if you're training for the marathon and you're more suited for the faster races, maybe you need to change up your strategy and start thinking about maybe I should be running some shorter races, really focus on those shorter races before I transition into the longer races. And I was recently asked this by one of my subscribers, and she had mentioned that she's training for these longer races, but do I think it's a good idea for her to focus on maybe 5Ks or 1,600-meter events, track events, 3,000s, 2-mile races? Absolutely. When I was training myself and competing in national and international competitions, I was always focused on running as fast as I possibly could at the shorter races so that I could be better prepared when it came time to run the 10-mile event, the 5-mile, the half marathon, the marathon. I was always focused on running it, trying to get under that 4-minute or the 4-minute mile barrier. When I was in college, the fastest I could ever run eventually was 4 minutes and 22 seconds for the mile. But I was working to work on my leg speed. So yes, absolutely. You need to constantly be working on improving your overall leg speed so that, again, you get better accustomed to running faster over shorter distance, but also becoming better prepared to race over the longer distances. I think one of the common mistakes, again, is if we're also running too much of our mileage each week too easily. And so you do have to start focusing on looking at how you're setting up your training. Is your volume too slow throughout the week? If that's the case, you're not going to get faster. You have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to spend a higher percentage of your weekly mileage running at closer to your anaerobic threshold and below your anaerobic threshold. It's very important to be spending at least once per day training at your VO2 max. That's around 95 to 100% of your maximum heart rate. So that's, repeat 200s, maybe hill repetitions where you're running between 200 to 300 meters up a hill all out, and you may need full rest. When you're doing those types of workouts, you definitely are training the body to clear lactic acid more effectively, and that's what will help you to run more efficiently, more economically throughout your race, and not just run a small portion of your race at race pace. And the big reasons a lot of these athletes are able to sustain their goal race pace longer than you are currently is a lot of times they've just been doing it for a longer period of time. They're spending more time throughout the week training at a higher intensity. And again, that's improving the body's lactate tolerance so that, again, you're able to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. And again, we want to teach the body to burn fat. Okay, we have much more fat storage than we have carbohydrate storage. So if you're training the body, doing those long runs, getting out there, building, burning fat, building your endurance, building your stamina, you're not going to have as much of a problem racing and sustaining goal race pace and getting faster over the shorter as well as longer distances, because again, you're training the body to utilize what it has much more of, fat storage, and to be able to conserve what it has much less of when it comes time to really need it. Okay, a lot of times that might be in the last mile of a 5K or the last 10 kilometers of a marathon. When most athletes are slowing down and getting extremely tired, you're going to be able to sustain your goal race pace, maintain the pace, and then be able to pick up the pace in that last 10 kilometers of your marathon. Okay, proper pacing is obviously important in all races, but when it comes time when you're really focusing on getting faster, start looking at how you're setting up your week. If you're just running too much mileage too easily, that could be a major reason why you're not getting faster. Obviously, not spending enough time throughout your week, really working on your overall leg speed, really drilling down on running at paces that you can only hold for a few seconds. Okay, that, one of my favorite types of workouts I did, even as a marathoner, was doing like between 15 to 20 100-meter sprints all out on the track. Okay, and full recovery in between each reps. Okay, or doing like I mentioned, 200 to 300-meter hill repetitions all out, or just moderately hard, and then maybe like the last 20 meters of that 200-meter to 300-meter hill repetition, run that portion all out. Okay, obviously doing long, slow distance runs, these long runs every single weekend. Are you doing that? Okay, have you been in that routine for too many years? If that's the case, you're not going to make significant jumps in your track races or in your road races, because again, you're running too aerobically for too long. And yes, that's important. It's important to build your endurance. It's important to do those long runs. But if you're doing that on a routine basis, you're just building endurance, you're burning fat, but you're not really getting down into that anaerobic zone where you really need to work, really need to be able to teach the body to handle high amounts of lactic acid buildup, so that again, you're getting more comfortable getting uncomfortable. Okay, if you're spending too much time over analyzing and worrying about your running performances and overthinking the process, that can be a problem as well. That can be, stress is a major issue on why athletes don't perform up to their capability on race day. Because again, the more muscular and more mental tension we have, the harder it is for our bodies to perform at a high level. We're more tense. We're exerting more. We're wasting too much physical and mental energy worrying about things that are outside of our control. I harp on this all the time. Trust in the training that you're doing. You've done a high amount of training. You've prepared well for your races. Be confident in your preparation. There's nothing you can do the day of the race that's going to change anything. Even the week of, what's going to change your overall result is the amount of worry and stress you're placing on yourself. Are you staying up late? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not hydrating the week before the race? What are you doing the days before your major race in terms of your nutrition is absolutely vital. Okay, don't worry so much about what you eat the night before. It is still important. But what are you eating the 5 to 6 days prior to your goal race? And also, don't worry so much about the night before in terms of your sleep. It's natural not to be able to get a lot of sleep the night before race, but it's very critical and very vital in terms of how much sleep you're getting the week leading into your goal race. So make sure you're keeping that in mind. Also, in terms of the question of, why am I not getting any faster with my running? Make sure that you're also paying attention to your morning heart rate. Okay, just take your morning heart rate and get in the routine of taking your morning heart rate every single morning. And if you notice some major changes, if one morning you wake up and your morning heart rate's normally 50 beats per minute and it's 60 beats per minute, then I would either take the day off, or if you have a track or road workout planned, I would rather you take the day off or you jog that day and wait till the following day to do that workout than for you to go out there and try to run fast when you're not fully recovered. Okay, I always preach this. It's so important that adaptation has to occur for you to get great results in what you're doing. So I hope this is helpful in terms of, in you thinking over why am I not getting any faster at running. These are some of the things that could be the reasons. So change up how you're conducting your training. You're going to start getting some major results. And also just take some time off. Maybe take a week or two off from the sport. Maybe that's all you really need. In most cases, as athletes, that is what we need. We've been training for too long. We've been training for too long, too easily sometimes, and we just need a break. So hope this is helpful. Definitely leave me a comment below. Check out the resources on RunDreamAchieve.com. I also have a RunDreamAchieve merch store. If you're interested in getting some RunDreamAchieve merch, you can check the link below this video or on the store tab below these videos as well. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.